Coming up in our news live at 7 tonight, a nationwide manhunt for a suspect in the murder of Inspector Lennox Williams Sunday. As police take another suspect into custody, we are live tonight at police headquarters with the very latest. Also new tonight, one child is dead, 4 injured in a deadly house fire on Rupert Dean Lane. We've got the initial details of this tragic story. In a surprise announcement, the health minister tells House members the Cuban workers program for teachers and healthcare workers has been halted. We'll tell you why. And in our news at 7:30, a disturbing trend, a look back at the series of high-stakes, sometimes deadly crimes in the Palmdale area. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Jerome Sawyer in for Kendino Knowles. We begin with the latest on the investigation into the murder of that former police inspector Sunday. Police launching a manhunt nationwide for a second suspect as another suspect is in custody, and they've recovered the getaway car as well. Our Berthany McDermott is in the field joining us live tonight. He gets us started from police headquarters. Berthany, a busy day at police headquarters, a lot of new information, but also an opportunity to dispel some myths and misinformation. What can you tell us tonight?
That's right, Jerome. 2 days after that police reserve inspector was tragically gunned down making a deposit, police calling a press conference here at police headquarters to tell us that they are making progress. Now, while initial information said that there were 4 assailants, police telling us today that they are on the lookout for 1.
We're looking for this particular individual, Ronald Telford, as a person of interest in this matter.
Police say they're looking for this man, 42-year-old Ronald Telford, as a suspect in the murder of Reserve Inspector Lennox Williams. Williams was gunned down outside the Royal Bank of Canada in the Palmdale shopping plaza while making a deposit Sunday. A robbery suspect was also shot and killed during the incident. Police press liaison officer Chief Superintendent Sharia King says they're following significant leads and have already recovered the vehicle used in the crime. But while the killings of Inspector Williams and another man in a separate incident on Sunday raised speculation, King confirmed police do not believe the 2 incidents are connected. And as rumors spread that a woman turned herself into police, King also shut that down.
That particular female that is being reported never, I repeat again, never showed up or surrendered herself to police.
Police clarified that the deposit Williams was making was not connected to his church. At the scene, Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles confirmed there was an exchange of gunfire and 2 of the men were shot. However, around 4 men left the scene in a small white vehicle shortly after the shooting. But King telling us police are only searching for 2 men. We asked her why.
Working out our intelligence on this matter, what I'm saying is that yes, it is suspected that 3 individuals, but we're working on intelligence, we're working on information so that we can then say yes and confirm that there is a 3rd person.
This isn't the first time violence has erupted in that area. Police say they're rolling out new strategies to beef up safety in the area.
Some individuals, some of your media colleagues actually went there yesterday where you saw that they were doing a walkabout in that particular area. That is going to be a consistent thing moving forward from our Northeastern Division, which is headed by Chief Superintendent Monroe. That is already in place. Additionally, what we can say are strategies are being put in place as we speak to ensure that this particular incident does not happen again.
Now again, Jerome, while this isn't the first incident in this specific area in Palmdale, all eyes will be on these new initiatives being implemented by the Royal Bahamas Police Force to ensure that there is some impact and residents can traverse the areas safely. Coming to you live from police headquarters, I'm Berthany McDermott, sending it back to you on the desk, Jerome.
Thank you so much for that report. Our Berthany McDermott live outside police headquarters tonight. We'll check back with him in our news at 7:30 for a lot more from that press conference today. Well, another tragedy unfolding just after midnight. A house fire kills 1 child and sends 4 others to hospital with serious burns. Police say the children's mother left them in the care of a relative while she apparently went looking for help from a government agency. At some point, that relative reportedly fell asleep and woke up to find part of the bedroom in flames. The children were rushed to hospital with extensive burns, with a 5-year-old later died from his injuries. Police are now investigating the circumstances and urging anyone with any information to come forward. Be sure and stay tuned to our news at 7:30. Our Delvado Emmanuel speaks with members of this community about this heartbreaking incident. A 57-year-old man charged in a shooting that sent a former friend to hospital. Garnet Newbold faced an attempted murder charge for the June 12th shooting of a 49-year-old Lutz Lewis when he stood before Magistrate Roberto Reckley today. Prosecutors say Newbold confronted Lewis at Melbourne Road in Yellow Elder and shot him in the arm and chest during an argument. Newbold didn't have to enter a plea to the charge and was denied bail. He returns to court in August to receive a voluntary bill of indictment papers that will fast-track that case over to the Supreme Court. An American tourist arrested for groping a woman in a cruise ship bathroom while he masturbated. 46-year-old Corley Smith pleaded guilty to charges of indecent assault and indecent exposure when he made his first appearance before Assistant Magistrate Carolyn Vogt Evans. The charges stem from a June 13th incident aboard the Carnival Freedom ship. The 21-year-old woman was in the women's bathroom around 4 a.m. when Smith apparently entered. As the woman stood at the zinc, Smith came from behind, touched her genitals, and then started pleasuring himself with his free hand. Smith apologized for his actions and said that he was under the influence of alcohol. He was ordered to pay a $5,000 fine to avoid spending 8 months in prison for the indecent assault. He was also fined an additional $150 to avoid the 1 month in prison for indecent exposure. A surprise announcement from the health minister last evening in Parliament. Government is pausing the recruitment of teachers and healthcare workers from Cuba. The program has been at the heart of recent controversy, with Prime Minister Philip Davis meeting with United States Secretary of State, who expressed concerns about the program. During his budget contribution in Parliament Monday, the Health and Wellness Minister, Dr. Michael Darville, says they're now changing the terms after discussions with the U.S.
After fruitful negotiations, we are prepared to cancel all existing contractual agreements and enter into a direct contractual agreement with Cuban healthcare professionals currently in the Bahamas. Those who agree to these terms will sign the new employment agreement by my ministry and remain in country for deployment across the Family Islands. Those who are not interested in this new arrangement will be given time to wrap up their affairs and return to Cuba.
Despite the latest turn of events, Darville insists they've treated the Cuban healthcare workers fairly from the start, adding they'll continue to source workers from other countries as well. He also made this announcement.
Pleased to report that after the suspension of the Cuban medical eye tourism program, last week, the Cuban cataract and retinal ophthalmology program was reinstated. 60 Bahamians were flown to Havana for these life-changing surgeries, and on their return home, another 60 will go to Havana for surgery, and the program will continue as we reduce the waiting list.
Well, she gave Silver Airways decades of her life, but she says she's been repaid with silence, stress, and shame. Tonight, a former Bahamian supervisor is breaking her silence, describing a 2-year battle to receive the severance she says she's rightfully owed after the airline pulled out of the Bahamas. Delvado Emmanuel has her story tonight.
2 years now I've been waiting on my funds from Silver. It's almost 2 years, and I'm still waiting.
Jasmine Newman McKinney spent decades climbing the ranks in the airline industry, getting a start with Gulfstream International Airlines, when the company was acquired by United and eventually rebranded as Silver Airways. She became one of the first Bahamians hired to work in their Bahamas operation. She rose through the ranks to manager, but after years of dedicated service, McKinney, along with several others' journey came to an end on June 12, 2023. And while she says she accepted the termination, the real blow came when it was time to collect her severance.
I told them I had no problem with them terminating because they went a different route where they contracted the airport services, which is government-owned. No problem, just have my money available for me my last day of work. But that didn't work out so well.
McKinney was then forced to take her case to court.
We went to tribunal and they were trying to pay us as regular agents pay, and I told them I'm not going to settle for that because I wasn't a regular agent. So I went to court to fight for my supervisor's pay, and that was finished in November 2024.
But despite the court victory, she claims payments have been inconsistent for some employees and, in her case, non-existent.
So we decided to carry our case to the bankruptcy court in the U.S.
Silver's exit from the Caribbean couldn't come at a worse time for McKinney, who's been relying on the settlement to rebuild her home destroyed in the fire 4 years ago. Now she's making this public plea.
If you have to restructure, that is not my problem. I worked for you for 26 years. All you paying me is 12 years out of that 26. And now you're trying to tell me that you filed bankruptcy where you have no funds or whatever. You still have to pay me. I don't care. Whether it's the government who's going to pay me or Silver who's going to pay me, but somebody has to pay me.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
Well, it's time for our first look at temperatures outside. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center tonight. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Jerome, and a happy Tuesday evening, everybody. We are stuck in this rinse and repeat weather pattern across the island chain as temperatures stayed into the low 90s earlier today. 84 degrees is our current temperature right now outside our studios. East-southeast winds at 13 miles per hour, and your feels-like temperature is at 88. Temperatures around the islands right now, all in the mid-80s. Once again, Freeport, 84 also in Alistown, Bimini here in the capital and in Great Harbour Key. Nicholas San Andres, 85. We pick up 83s in Marsh Harbour, Abaco, and in Governor's Harbour. Central Bahamas, 85. Kemps Bay, Deadman's Key. More 84s popping up in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Black Point, Exuma, Georgetown, and Port Nelson. Coburn Towns in Salvador, 82. And into the southeast Bahamas, 83 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, 84. Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, and in Providenciales, Tricks, and Caicos Islands. Abrahams Bay, Meg 185, and deep south Matthewtown, Renagua. You round out a temperature profile at 86. Satellite and radar composite, it is absolutely beautiful across the island chain. High pressure is in charge, a dry air mass still in place. Couple of spotty showers moving in that east-southeasterly wind flow across us. We still have that upper level jet bringing some cloudy conditions possible across the southeast Bahamas. But all in all, this high pressure is going to be persistent. It's going to last through the rest of the week. Looking for some very hot temperatures during the daytime and warm temperatures at night. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, this is day one of us harassing you to vote for Jonquil Jones and Jazz Chisholm into the respective All-Star games.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head-on. RTV's Storm Navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your strongest shield. Stay safe, stay informed, only on RTV.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget to push that notification button so that you can see all of the great content from the team you already trust.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head-on. RTV's Storm Navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your strongest shield. Stay safe, stay informed, only on RTV.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau.
Welcome to our Sports at 7, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. WNBA All-Star voting is live, so everyone under the sound of my voice and your family members, you all have one job. Get Jonquil Jones to a 6th All-Star game. Jones is set to make a return to the New York Liberty lineup tonight after missing the last 3 games with a right sprained ankle. Before the injury, Jones was having a standout season, averaging nearly 14 points and 10 rebounds per game, shooting close to 48% from the field and 43% from 3. Jones is doing her job on the court, and we could do our job by sending her to the All-Star game. Voting is now live. Just head to the WNBA All-Star voting site, select Jonquil Jones in the front court, and cast your vote. Since returning from an oblique injury on June 3rd, Chisholm has been a spark for the Yankees. In his last 9 games, he has a .998 OPS with 2 home runs, 7 RBI, and 4 steals. Manager Aaron Boone emphasized that Chisholm's 70% approach, making contact without overswinging, is paying off. Chisholm finished 3 for 5 last night, but the Yankees continue to struggle in a 1-0 loss to the Los Angeles Angels. Colonique Farrington closed the curtain on an accolade-filled collegiate career with another nationally recognized award. She won the 2025 USTF CCCA Outdoor Regional Track Athlete of the Year, sweeping this year's accolade. The future Hall of Famer capped off her incredible season back in May, claiming a first national title in the outdoor 400-meter dash. That will do it for our sports. Stay tuned to our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as retaliatory strikes between Israel and Iran continue for the 5th straight day. Plus, more frightening details revealed on the plot by a Minnesota man to kill more lawmakers in the investigation into the shooting of a Democratic state lawmaker and her husband. And half a dozen people killed when a bridge carrying dozens of tourists collapses in India. We'll have the details when our news returns.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trevi Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head on. RTV's storm navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your strongest shield. Stay safe, stay informed, only on RTV.
Well, welcome back to our news. We turn our attention now to those stories making headlines across the world. Retaliatory strikes between Israel and Iran continue for the 5th straight day. Israel launched its campaign Friday, saying Tehran was on the verge of building a nuclear bomb, something Iran has always denied, seeking from its uranium enrichment program. Iran has responded with deadly missile strikes on Israeli cities. Today, the Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sarah held a news conference at the site at an Iranian missile attack in Rishon-LeZion. He told reporters that Israel's surprise attack was a historic decision and was taken fully according to that, so that Israel will face damage and casualties.
Very clear goals. First of all, to severely damage their nuclear program. We hadn't finished with that. We still have objectives. We still have targets that now we can target easily because our Air Force now can relatively fly freely there, and we still have objectives.
Minnesota officials say the suspect accused of killing a Democratic state lawmaker and her husband and injuring another state lawmaker and his wife allegedly attempted to kill 2 other state lawmakers. Freddie Joyner reports.
Authorities say Vance Bolter, the suspect in the assassination of a Minnesota lawmaker, was planning a killing spree. He visited the homes of at least 4 state politicians disguised as a police officer, according to prosecutors on Monday. Investigators say they found notebooks that included names of dozens of Democratic legislators, along with abortion rights advocates.
And this was a political assassination.
Minnesota's acting U.S. Attorney Joseph Thompson spoke at a news conference on Monday.
Political assassinations are rare. They strike at the very core of our democracy. But the details of Belter's crime are even worse.
Bolter made a brief appearance in St. Paul federal court on Monday. He faces state and federal murder charges after his arrest on Sunday night, following a massive 2-day manhunt that was the largest in state history. He's accused of assassinating Melissa Hortman, the top Democrat in the Minnesota House, and her husband. He's also charged with shooting and wounding another Democratic lawmaker, State Senator John Hoffman, and his wife. The county's chief prosecutor, Mary Moriarty, said she will seek first-degree murder charges, which carry a mandatory sentence of life without parole.
I want to assure our community and all those who are grieving that we will seek justice and accountability for the victims of all these heinous crimes.
Well, a bridge carrying dozens of tourists collapsed in India, killing at least 6 and leaving others missing. The incident occurred when the crossing point over the swollen Indrayani River gave away on Sunday. Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar said the structural failure caused by rust and overcrowding led to the tragic disaster. Nearly 100 people were reportedly on the bridge, a popular monsoon tourist spot when the incident happened. Authorities have urged the public to avoid riverbanks and dilapidated structures amid continued rainfall. Still to come on our news tonight. Today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was June 17th. And then in our news at 7:30, we're back at police headquarters for the very latest on the investigation into that murder of a former police inspector on Sunday, and a troubling pattern in the heart of the business district Palmdale. A look back at the deadly daylight robberies in that area over the years. That's coming up when our news returns.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Welcome to Journey TV.
I'm glad the Wally boys have split, because you know what? They know we ain't got no more competition.
The words on the Spelling Bee Show with Ian Dallard.
Phosphorescent. Hey, it's the Charlie Bahama Show. Welcome, I'm your boy, Charlie Bahama.
New season of Groovin' is here.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
At Struckham, we're all about peace of mind. With the latest tools and technology like PestPack, managing pest control just got easier. It's simple. Log on to the portal to review past services or monitor trends. Just tap Service Reports to access detailed records and see how we're keeping your business pest-free. You can even customize permissions so your teams in maintenance and health and safety have real-time access to everything they need. With PestPack, you're in control, anytime, anywhere. Get ready to simplify pest management with just a few taps.
Welcome back to our news on this day in Bahamian history in Freeport, Grand Bahama. June 17, 1968, a demonstration was held by black Bahamian workers against unfair hiring practices by hotels in the city. Then in 2013, parents of students at St. John's College class of 2013 lawyered up after that year's graduation and prom were cancelled. And then in 2019, the Cabinet Office announced that then Governor General Dame Marguerite Pindling would be taking on that role. Well, to watch the full story, be sure and go to rnews.bs/Today in History. And finally, some of the region's brightest legal minds gathering here in New Providence for the start of tomorrow's conference of the Caribbean Chief Justices and Heads of Judiciaries. Among them, the Honorable Justice Winston Anderson, Judge of the Caribbean Court of Justice and President-designate. As he assumes the presidency of this region's final court of appeal, we had an opportunity to catch up with him today. In an upcoming interview here on our news, Justice Anderson talks about how access to justice on a regional level is so important and why he thinks replacing the Privy Council with the CCJ as our final court of appeal could happen soon for the Bahamas. Well, be sure and join us for live coverage of that opening of the conference tomorrow starting at 8 p.m. The event also streams live on Facebook and YouTube on the Our News Bahamas platform. Well, to watch all of today's stories again, be sure and visit rnews.bs. That's going to do it for Our News at 7. Joining us now, my comrade in arms, Italia Hall.
Thanks for
Italia,
that.
You've had a busy day today.
Yes, a busy 2 days straight
Yes,
from vacation. But hey, that's what the break was about, right? Back to work. Thanks so much, Jerome. Well, coming up, the results are in from the Bahamas Union of Teachers elections. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news, live at 7:30, a Bane Town family is in mourning after a raging house fire claimed the life of a 5-year-old boy and left 3 toddlers badly burned. Our Delvardo Emmanuel has the emotional story from Rupert Dean Lane. Also, days after the broad daylight shooting of a reserve inspector, police say they're closing in, identifying a person of interest and recovering the getaway car. Our Berthany McDermott is live at the police headquarters with the latest. Also, from robberies to Sunday's deadly shooting, a troubling pattern of violence is unfolding along Madeira Street.
Tonight on our news, we take a look back at some of the armed robbery incidents that have occurred in the Palmdale area and the fight police have waged against criminals over the years. Stay tuned tonight.
And later, just as the smoke cleared from recent wildfires, another blaze flared up yesterday near the airport road. Police say there's no threat to life or property. The story when our news live at 7:30 returns.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel,
our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, INTI redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. INTI is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as INTI Corporation shines brighter than ever. INTI Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. A family is in mourning and the Bane Town community is grappling with grief and unanswered questions after a devastated house fire claimed the life of a 5-year-old boy and left 3 other toddlers with severe burns. The tragic incident unfolded Monday afternoon on Rupert Dane Lane, triggering a police investigation and sparking emotional reactions from longtime residents who say the family did everything they could. Our Delvardo Emmanuel gets us started tonight with the heartbreaking story.
It's a scene that's left many in the Bane Town community stunned and grieving. A toddler is dead, 3 other children badly burned after a fire ripped through a bedroom on Rupert Dane Lane on Monday afternoon. Police brought the matter to light Tuesday morning in a press release. According to their reports, the mother left the children in the care of a relative while she sought help from a government agency. The relative allegedly fell asleep and woke to find the children burned and the room in flames. One of the children, a 5-year-old boy, later died in hospital. News of the incident spread quickly through the close-knit community, and many residents say they're still in shock. Longtime Bane Town resident Adrian Miller, who grew up in the area, returned to the neighborhood as soon as she heard the tragic news.
They're not managing it. They need a little time. They're not in a good, clear thought process right now. They need a little time. So somebody's there talking to them, and they're trying to do the best they could. Somebody's at the hospital, somebody's home, so they're just trying to do the best they could.
Miller says the mother did her best to provide for her children, and that in a place like Bane Town, neighbors stepped up to look after each other's families.
That's what she does, and that's what they do. And even the grandmother, you know, we look out for each other. Even aunts, uncles, cousins, we look out for the kids in this area.
In a press conference today at police headquarters, police said their investigation is ongoing. The priority now is to find out exactly what happened and whether negligence played a role.
Yes, all of those line of questionings will be done. The 3 children that are presently in hospital are in stable but critical condition, and we are monitoring those as well. Fire investigations have conducted their investigation into this matter, and all witnesses, all persons responsible or was there at the time will be interviewed and to determine how did this tragic incident happen.
Reporting for our news, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
All right, thanks so much for that, Delvardo. Well, police making headway in the tragic killing of Reserve Inspector Lernex Williams this past Sunday, identifying a person of interest and recovering the getaway car. Our Berthany McDermott joins us live from the police headquarters with the latest. Berthany, what can you tell us about this tragic incident?
That's right, Italia. Police holding a press conference here at police headquarters earlier today to inform residents and the general public at large that they are looking for one man in connection with that tragic killing.
We're looking for this particular individual. Ronald Telford as a person of interest in this matter.
Police say they're looking for this man, 42-year-old Ronald Telford, as a suspect in the murder of Reserve Inspector Lennox Williams. Williams was gunned down outside the Royal Bank of Canada in the Palmdale shopping plaza while making a deposit Sunday. A robbery suspect was also shot and killed during the incident. Police press liaison officer Chief Superintendent Sharia King says they're following significant leads and have already recovered the vehicle used in the crime. But while the killings of Inspector Williams and another man in a separate incident on Sunday raised speculation, King confirmed police do not believe the two incidents are connected. And as rumors spread that a woman turned herself into police, King also shut that down.
That particular female that is being reported never, I repeat again, never showed up or surrendered herself to police.
Police clarified that the deposit Williams was making was not connected to his church. At the scene, Police Commissioner Shanta Knowles confirmed there was an exchange of gunfire and 2 of the men were shot. However, around 4 men left the scene in a small white vehicle shortly after the shooting. But King telling us police are only searching for 2 men. We asked her why.
Working out our intelligence on this matter, what I'm saying is that yes, it is suspected that 3 individuals, but we're working on intelligence, we're working on information so that we can then say yes and confirm that there is a 3rd person.
This isn't the first time violence has erupted in that area. Police say they're rolling out new strategies to beef up safety in the area.
Some individuals, some of your media colleagues actually went there yesterday where you saw that they were doing a walkabout in that particular area. That is going to be a consistent thing moving forward from our Northeastern Division, which is headed by Chief Superintendent Monroe. That is already in place. Additionally, what we can say are strategies are being put in place as we speak to ensure that this particular incident does not happen again.
Now again, given that tragic incident, the hope is that these new initiatives by the Royal Bahamas Police Force will beef up safety in that area. Coming to you live from police headquarters, I'm Berthany McDermott, sending it back to you on the desk, Italia.
Thanks so much, Berthany. Once again, our Berthany McDermott reporting live outside of police headquarters tonight. Well, tonight, we take a look back at a series of incidents in the Palmdale area which has seemingly become a repeated target for armed robbers. The murder of a police reservist on Sunday is a somber reminder of the danger, not just at that plaza where the bank is located, but along the entire Madera Street business strip. Our Joshua Williams takes us back.
The tragic killing of police reservist Lennox Williams on Sunday, shot while making a deposit at Royal Bank, a dark reminder of the violent history in the Palmdale shopping center. Back on September 4th, 2017, a man was shot and killed and a woman was injured during a robbery just outside of a bank across the street. It was a story our news covered. Then Assistant Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando briefing reporters.
When a silver-colored Honda vehicle pulled up, 2 men exit, both armed with handguns, fired shots, hitting both victims to the body.
Then we remember the shocking incident last year, where 2 security guards were lucky to escape with their lives after they were shot in broad daylight in front of RBC and Lowe's Pharmacy. Once again, it was Fernando as Commissioner of Police briefing reporters.
They were about to enter Lowe's Pharmacy. At the time, they were in possession of 2 deposit bags that was collected from another business establishment.
And even though not all incidents in that strip ended in gunfire, there have been other reported armed robberies in the area. We found a police report dating back to 2016 where a man was robbed by 2 men right in front of a bank on the same business strip. While police have increased their presence in the area, especially at night, their message to business owners hasn't changed.
Get to know your commanders. Get to know your commanders. Even while standing here, processing this scene, we saw business owners casually pulled up and went to the deposit area and just placed the deposit bag in there with no care whatsoever.
Well, a man is recovering in hospital tonight after he was shot on Key West Street Monday evening. Police say it happened shortly after 6 o'clock when a light blue Japanese car pulled up and 2 men got out and opened fire. The 41-year-old victim was hit in the upper body and rushed to hospital. He's said to be in stable condition. Investigations are continuing. Well, just when it seems as if wildfires around the country had stopped, another fire occurred yesterday in the forest alongside the airport road. Police say the fire burned well into the night with the blaze still burning. We spent about an hour on scene where firefighters tackled flames burning close to the road. Drone footage sent by our news follower and drone pilot Waclav Bastian show the flames ripping through a large forest area. Officers say the blaze does not pose any danger to life or property. Police press liaison Chief Superintendent Sharia King.
Firefighters have and continuously is monitoring that particular area. Visibility has not impacted at this particular time. However, the fire is still burning deep inland. And so, as I said, the firefighters are monitoring it.
All right, well, things are still heating up, but nice weather overall on this Tuesday evening. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for a quick check on conditions outside our studios and around the islands. 84 degrees is our current temperature on the outside. Warm conditions, east-southeast winds at 13 miles per hour. Feels like temperature, very warm, 88 degrees. Satellite radar composite, satellite showing high pressure in charge of our area. That high pressure is bringing us a dry air mass, mostly stable conditions. We still have some low-level moisture moving across the island chain, so we're seeing some spotty showers. Most of that happening offshore and over the open waters. Disturbance near the southeast, that's a jet stream in the mid and upper levels. That's bringing some cloudy conditions to the Inagua. Partly cloudy conditions, as a matter of fact, but that high is going to stay with us for the remainder of the week, so we're looking at some very warm temperatures throughout that period. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, the Bahamas Nurses Union is facing serious challenges from within. Internal rifts have landed the matter in court. Plus, more than $3.5 billion is being pumped into Grand Bahama, with tourism at the helm and the maritime industry making waves. In tonight's City in Focus, our Candido Knowles spotlights the sectors behind the island's big comeback when our news returns. Stay with us.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head on. RTV's Storm Navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your strongest shield. Stay safe, stay informed, only on RTV.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget to push that notification button so that you can see all of the great content from the team you already trust.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready?
Belinda Wilson has officially been returned as the president of the Bahamas Union of Teachers for a 7th consecutive term. The results were made official nearly a week after the elections took place throughout the country. In a court-registered document obtained by Our News, Wilson received 1,292 points, while her opponent, Julia Hanna, only received 186 points. Tiffany Burrell-Roberts will serve as vice president, while Cedrica Roll will serve as the union secretary general. And we have an update tonight on the leadership battle within the Bahamas Nurses Union. It's a story we've been tracking from the very beginning. Our news team has learned that President Muriel Lightbourne and several executives appeared in the Supreme Court as the internal power struggle continues. This follows a letter from executive officers claiming Lightbourne is no longer a union member, accusing her of breaching the Constitution, withholding union property, and ignoring governance rules. In a joint statement, BNU Secretary General Siobhan Brennan, Vice President Shanique Cox, Assistant Treasurer Maria Smith, and 2 trustees declared Lightbourne is not authorized to act on the union's behalf. Now we will continue to follow this developing story. Chief Justices from across the Caribbean are set to meet in the Bahamas for the Conference of the Caribbean Chief Justices and Heads of Judiciaries. Our News and Our TV has got you covered. Tune in live to hear from the high-ranking judicial officers as they discuss matters related to the administration of justice. Wednesday, June 18th at 8 p.m. We'll bring it to you live on Our TV channel 212. And of course, you can stream it on Facebook or the Our News YouTube channel so you can watch from wherever you are. Well, over $3.5 billion in investment flowing into Freeport and Grand Bahama, with tourism leading the charge. But sectors like manufacturing, real estate, alternative energy, and maritime are close behind. In tonight's City in Focus, our news anchor, Candino Knowles, puts a spotlight on the maritime sector.
Invest in what will become the fastest growing economy in the Bahamas and perhaps the most robust in the Caribbean region.
That's GBPA Chief Investment Officer Derek Newbold, who says the opportunity is real and growing. The city of Freeport already a powerhouse when it comes to logistics, thanks to its ideal position in global trade routes.
We do lie at the center of major trade lanes leading into various ports around the world. And that's one of the reasons why Freeport Container Port actually established a presence there, because it simply made sense.
From Freeport, you get direct access to the Gulf, the Caribbean, Panama, and Suez canals, and ports on 6 continents. And Newbold says that means products can come from or be shipped to almost anywhere in the world.
You can source product from just about anywhere in the world, or ship product directly to just about anywhere in the world.
And with existing global trade tensions brought on by tariffs from U.S. President Donald Trump, Newbold says Freeport is actually positioned to benefit from the disruption, thanks to a little-known U.S. law called the Jones Act.
In order for a cargo vessel to transact from one U.S. port to the next, it has to be U.S. built, U.S. owned, U.S. crewed, U.S. flagged. But most of the major shipping lines in the world are not U.S. made or U.S. owned. Yeah. And so that's where Freeport comes into play.
Ships can call on Freeport between U.S. ports, get around restrictions, and still operate within global trade systems, bringing business with them.
They can do some work in Freeport, shift around some cargo, offload some cargo, take on some cargo, and they have now come to a sovereign territory, and now they can go back to another U.S. port, for example, Port Everglades. And so Freeport is really positioned well to participate in global trade.
And now the message is simple. Freeport's future is being built. The question is, who will help build it?
Grand Bahamians who are living here in Nassau, as well as Nassauians, would come and take advantage of some of the opportunities in Freeport. All right, help us build the peripheral economy together.
Reporting for our news, I'm Candino Knowles.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, the MVP is set to return to the Liberty, the problem with Jazz and the Yankees, and Colonique Farrington finishes her collegiate career with the most accolades I have ever seen in my life.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head on. RTV's storm navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your strongest shield. Stay safe, stay informed, only on RTV.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
When Team Bahamas took on the region at the 2025 Carifta Aquatics and Athletics Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, we were there. When the country's stars of tomorrow announced their arrival to the world. When champions rose, records fell, and history was made, we were there. Cable Bahamas, RTV, experience more.
My name is Troy Williams.
Welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. WNBA All-Star voting is live, so everyone under the sound of my voice and your family members, you all have one job. Get Jonquil Jones to a 6th All-Star game. Jones is set to make her return to the New York Liberty lineup tonight after missing the last 3 games with a right sprained ankle. Before the injury, Jones was having a standout season, averaging nearly 14 points and 10 rebounds per game, shooting close to 48% from the field and 43% from 3. During her absence, the Liberty dropped their first game of the season. Jones is doing her job on the court, and we could do our job by sending her to the All-Star game. Voting is now live. Just head to the WNBA All-Star voting site, select Jonquil Jones in the front court, and cast your vote. Since returning from an oblique injury on June 3rd, Chisholm has been a spark for the Yankees. In his last 9 games, he has a .998 OPS with 2 home runs, 7 RBI, and 4 steals. Manager Aaron Boone emphasized that Chisholm's 70% approach, making contact without overswinging, is paying off. Chisholm finished 3 for 5 last night, but the Yankees continue to struggle in a 1-0 loss to the Los Angeles Angels. The Yankees have been held scoreless for 20 innings throughout 4 consecutive losses, including a 1-0 extra inning setback to the Angels. Over the recent weekend, the Yankees were also swept by the Boston Red Sox, including a 2-0 shutout on Father's Day. But your job is to vote Jazz into the MLB All-Star Game. Visit MLB.com/All-Star/ballot or the MLB app and vote up to 5 times a day through June 26. Colonique Farrington closed the curtain on an accolade-filled collegiate career with another nationally recognized award. She won the 2025 USTF CCCA Outdoor Regional Track Athlete of the Year, sweeping this year's accolade. The future Hall of Famer capped off her incredible season back in May, claiming her first national title in the outdoor 400-meter dash. During the national championship, she broke 2 individual records and assisted with 2 relay records. The list of accolades for Farrington is extensive. During the 2024-2025 track and field season, she was a national champion, a 5-time All-American, 4 top 3 national finishes, a 2-time Regional Track Athlete of the Year, a 2-time GLVC Track Athlete of the Year, holds 1 national record, a 4-time GLVC Event Champion, and owns 7 SBU records. That'll do it for our sports. Look, it's a big time in New York. We gotta vote JJ in, we gotta vote Jazz in. DJ's about to get drafted. All eyes on the big city. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight as the countdown continues to the 53rd National Swimming Championships, the Barracuda Swim Club is picking up steam. Our Sasha Lightborn checks in with the team as they get ready for Thursday's big event. And Greg is back with the extended weather when our news continues. Stay with us.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trey Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When the winds rise and the storm threatens, are you ready? This hurricane season, face the fury head-on. RTV's Storm Navigator with me, Jasmine Brown, and meteorologist Greg Thompson as we reveal the truth behind the storms with expert insights and life-saving tips. When the next storm threatens, will you be prepared? Because when nature unleashes its fury, knowledge is your...
This is our news. Welcome back. High pressure remains in charge of our weather. That's jutting out there from the Atlantic across us and into the Gulf of Mexico. Dry air mass in place at the mid and upper levels. Nothing much happening at the surface. Just some spotty showers moving in on that east to southeasterly wind flow. Upper level jet moving just to the south of Bahamas, providing some cloudy conditions to the Turks and Caicos as well as the Inagua area. But that high will stay with us through the remainder of the week, so planning to do things on the outdoors, make sure you dress appropriately and stay hydrated. The tropics, quiet, couple of tropical waves moving across the tropical belt, not showing any organization there at this time. The western and central Caribbean, also quiet there, and then into the Gulf of Mexico, very quiet conditions expected there as well. Future forecast showing the spotty showers moving across that area. That will continue through Wednesday on that east to southeasterly wind flow, so we could see some hit and miss showers. And then, of course, Thursday, much the same as the conditions remain entrenched across us. Boating conditions, nice on the waters for the northwest and central Bahamas, for the exception of the Atlantic side. Winds will be east to southeast, 10 to 15 knot, seas running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Low tide is at 7:12 tonight. High tide takes place at 1:20 in the morning. For the southeast Bahamas, caution flag in place. Rip current risk remains elevated. East to southeasterly wind flow at 15 to 20 knots. Seas running 4 to 6 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, we will remain much the same. Just some spotty showers moving in on that east to southeasterly wind flow. Temperatures will stay near the 90-degree mark. Feels like temperatures on the outdoors will be in the triple digits. So once again, if you plan on being on the outdoors for the next couple of days, stay hydrated, wear appropriate clothing, and take frequent breaks from the sunshine. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, when you think of top swim clubs in the Bahamas, you can't leave out the Barracuda Swim Club. Our satellite Warren caught up with them yesterday as they continued prep for the 53rd National Swimming Championships, which begins on Thursday.
The overall goal is for us to hold our position where we was last year. I don't think we have a chance of winning the meet this year, but we do have a chance to hold our position, which was second place, and we have a lot of competition that would love to have our spot.
That was Barracuda's head coach, Cameron Bruni, speaking to me about the expectations he has heading into the Swimming National Championships scheduled for later this week. Last year, the club placed second with 1,501 points.
Competitions have been awesome. We have a couple different sections in our club. We have 4 different competitive groups, so preparations are different for each group.
I also asked Coach Bruni about the importance of mental health for his swimmers.
I think the mental side is more important than the physical side. Once you have your mental right, you're going to be able to perform. And that's the edge some people have on each other.
Barracudas also has several senior swimmers in the club, including Olympian Renishka Gibbs. Bruni spoke about having those senior swimmers back for the big meet.
It's a blessing when they come. They can just help in terms of technique, help in terms of attitude, mindset, help with learn to swim, everything.
Now be sure to stay tuned to the RTV network on channels 205 and 212 for live coverage of those evening sessions beginning nightly at 6 p.m., as well as streaming live on the RTV Originals and R News Facebook pages. Reporting from the Betty Kelly Canning Aquatic Center for R News, I'm Sasha Lightbourne.
All right, thanks so much for that, Sasha, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.
Hello, I'm Jerome Sawyer, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, if you want to continue to receive this great content, be sure and hit that button right over there. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you continue to get all of this great content from the team you already trust. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you continue to get all of this great content from the team you already trust.